The on-field, a landmark moment for Justin Longmuir's Fremantle yesterday. You were there for it. It's the ultimate test, Collingwood at the MCG. They came from behind and prevailed. Now, what might it lead to next?
The motto we've lived by over the last 10 weeks of just living in the moment and making sure we win each day.
How big would this be for Fremantle to get a win over the top of the pops, Collingwood, at the home of footy? They don't need to prove anything to the footy world, but what would it prove to themselves? O'Meara, bouncing goal! The biggest test in football is the Collingwood MCG last quarter test. The prancing pony looks okay. The purple pony club, they come from everywhere.
Well, you get asked those questions a lot, and I don't really sit and rank my wins, but coming here playing against the best team in the comp is never easy. You come and play the Magpie Army as well as the team, and they're obviously playing good footy, so it's really gutsy.
How big is this moment for them? Jackson, call, hand, Luke.
I think these are one of those wins that really makes you start believing that you're capable. You just got to give yourself a chance, and say we did that.
This is as big as you can remember here for the Freo Footy Club.
And there it is. There it is. They've passed the test. It is a colossal result for Fremantle. They've beaten Collingwood at the Coliseum.
You want to play with the grown-ups, then you do what Fremantle have just done then. They're out of the creche. They're in with the big boys right now. They've taken on Collingwood at the MCG to lock away final spot.
Live in the moment. I understand we've got processes to be able to enjoy wins, move on from wins, and then prepare for the opposition. And yeah, our fans can get excited, absolutely. People within the footy club will get excited, but as far as the coaching group and players are concerned, we just got to enjoy this and then move on.
There's wins and there's wins, and this is one of those wins.
I mean, that's 3.5 hour plane ride on the way home. They will be really satisfied.
You've had 24 hours to contemplate that, Gaz, and I thought the echoes of what Justin Longmuir said in the aftermath, and knowing that they've been caught up in the flag mantle stuff in the past, which wasn't of their making, but just the big picture and aspiring, no, narrow it down, which took me back to, you laid out footy broke. Win, cash your chips in. They are reinvesting. They are a team that is graduating.
Yeah, we spoke about this earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that is that you invest in your game, invest in a performance, and you get the win, and they just cashed out. They had this habit of cashing out, and they end up being footy broke. Well, they're now banking wins. So 8 of 9, if you don't mind, and they now get themselves into a situation where, their fate's in their hands. But of those 8 wins, they're against four wins against top 8 sides. So it wasn't just the weekend. I know they were under a lot of pressure, and the win on the weekend yesterday was really special. But their form line stacks up, and that's what should be giving them great confidence. And then you get to yesterday against, the best team in the competition. They're down 20 contested possession, plus 13 in turnover, Gerard. 23 inside 50s they gave up to Collingwood. And they had to absorb 35 inside 50 pressures, inside 50 tackles. They absorbed all that. They had 1 possession in their forward 50 in the third quarter. The margin gets to 22 points against Collingwood at the MCG, and they win. That's a win of substance. And the way they did it, Sarong was unbelievable in the last quarter, had 12. Hayden Young had 11 when he came on as the sub. Jackson goes and kicks the clutch goal. So, no, there was a lot to like about that. But the pleasing thing is there. We bank that, and then we go back to work. And I love the messaging that's coming out of Freo. They've got work to do. But by hell, they earned some respect yesterday.
They had to shed their safe skin to win it. And it did suit them. And there was that emblematic moment which you picked up at the time, which is Banfield to Young and up to Jackson.
And people, I listened to the reviews, and why don't they play like that all the time? Well, the simple fact of the matter is Collingwood didn't let them. And that's what happens when you play Collingwood, who are out there. It was as good a forward pressure game that Collingwood imposed. So if you get too expansive under that pressure, you just give up even more scores from turnover, which they did anyway. But as it wore down and a little bit of the heat came out of it and a little bit of that pressure dissipated, then, and what perhaps hasn't been done in the past, then when that kick's there, take it. And that's a legitimate critique of them. But as soon as that was there, bang, that was hit. and it was symbolic that Hayden Young's left boot just reminded everyone what they've been missing. And then Luke Jackson kicks the clutch goal.
The final moments of the game featured Darcy Moore dropping his knees into Josh Tracy. It's a 50-metre penalty, but nothing more. It doesn't feature in the MRO's readout at all today.
I didn't see this because these were the thrilling last moments. We were all going a bit crazy in the box getting involved, but this is not a good look from the Collingwood captain. I'm surprised that he wasn't given a fine, to be perfectly honest. Dropping double knees into the back of that, like, there was no reason to do that, to drop your knees into the back of the player when he's in that situation. So, I don't know. Why wasn't that side?
Yeah, well, presumably it was judged not to have reached the threshold.
There was a moment there where Clark got really upset, and you just thought, oh no, just back off here.
Unclench your fist, mate.
Yeah, the game's in the balance. And the game's shot by that stage, but a turnover right there cost them the win. But, yeah, no, I don't think Darcy would have been... I don't think he'd look back on that and be too proud of that, but it would have only been a fine. I'm not suggesting a suspension. But anyway, credit to the Fremantle Footy Club. It was a terrific performance.